Hello and welcome to Bose Garage. In today's video, I will show you how to dismantle the engine of a Bajaj Chetak. I will dismantle the engine completely in front of you, and then I will help you to identify what all parts needs to be replaced, what all parts we can recondition and reuse as well. When we are working on any vehicle, let it be a car or a motorcycle or a scooter, it will be always helpful to have a workshop manual in hand. So for that reason, I also purchased a Vespa service manual or a workshop manual by Haynes. This is for various Italian Vespa models from 1959 to 1978. We all know that our Bajaj Chetak is actually a licensed copy of Vespa Sprint VLB1T. Of course, there are some differences or some changes that Bajaj made it to make an Indian version of it, but still we can refer to this workshop manual while rebuilding the engine. Also, there is this possibility to import parts for Vespa Sprint, and we can use the same for our Bajaj Chetak as well. And I will explain to you what all parts with the part numbers that we can use for our Bajaj Chetak. So let us see how to dismantle the engine first. So we have completed the dismantling of our Bajaj Chetak engine. So you can see almost all the parts here. Some of them I kept it downside. So I will explain to you what all are the items that I am planning to replace and what all I am going to recondition and reuse. Let me start with the cylinder kit and the head. The head, of course, I will be reusing it because this is the original head. All you have to do is to clean it properly, and also I have to clean the combustion chamber area from all the carbon deposits, and then I have to check the flatness of the sealing surface. If it is not flat, I have to give it to a machine shop for machining to ensure that the flatness is within the acceptable limits. Also, another thing that we need to check is the spark plug threads. Make sure that they are not damaged. If they are damaged, try to recondition it. If you can source a brand new head, that will be the best option. If not, you can always recondition the thread, which is not really advisable, but if you don't have any choice, then go for it. Now, the piston, I feel this is a standard size piston, so I can always go for the oversize, but I managed to source a brand new cylinder kit, so I will be going for the brand new cylinder kit. If you are not planning to go for a brand new cylinder kit, then always you can go for the oversize. The standard size for the piston is 57 mm, the bore is 57 mm, so this will be like 56.9 or 56.85, something like that, the dimension. And you will get oversize of increments of 0.2 mm, like 57.2 mm is the first oversize, 57.4 mm is the second oversize. Like that, I think you will get up to the fourth or fifth oversize. So measure your bore at a machine shop, check what is the size now, and they will advise you which oversize you need to go for, so you can buy the piston and bore it to the next size. If you can source an original cylinder kit, then go for it. Next is the crankshaft. Of course, the crankshaft, we are not going to replace it. We will be rebuilding it using brand new connecting rods with new big end bearings, thrust washers, and small end bearing. Of course, we will replace the crank bearings as well. So this one we will be reconditioning it, servicing it, and reusing. Then coming to the gearbox. So on this counter wheel, you can see that there is a bearing over here. This one has to be replaced. And on the other side, in this location, you have needle bearings. That's a set of 21 or 22 needles. So that also you have to replace. All the bearings you have to mandatorily replace during a rebuild. So in this one, you don't have any bearings, but there is something called a gear cross, which helps us to select the various gears. Normally this gear cross, over a period of time, there will be a lot of wear and tear. So during each rebuild, you have to replace the gear cross and make sure you get a genuine one, because the aftermarket ones, we never know the quality of the metal and it might get damaged very fast. And then again you will have to dismantle the whole engine to replace that gear cross. So always try to source genuine gear cross. This one I will be dismantling it during the next video, and I will show you what all needs to be checked and replaced. Basically, you have to check all the teeths of the gears one by one for any excessive wear and tear or damage. If it's damaged, replace it. Now coming to the crankcase, you have to replace the seals, the crankshaft seals on either sides, and here you have a needle bearing for the gear shaft going to the gear selector. This also has to be replaced mandatorily. And here you can see there is a bushing. This is for the gear ratchet and for the gear selector rod. So this bushing, if it is worn out, you need to replace that bushing as well. And of course, the crankcase needs to be cleaned thoroughly inside and outside, and all the carbon, everything needs to be taken out. And here there is an oil hole which you need to ensure that there is no carbon there. You need to clean it thoroughly. On this crankcase also you have an oil seal, the crankshaft seal, and here you have near the rear wheel there is a bearing which you need to replace mandatorily. So basically there are two crankshaft bearings, one bearing for the gear selector, one bearing for the gearbox near to the rear wheel, and one bearing on the cluster gear, and here you have a set of needle bearing. So 5 bearings and a set of needle bearing, all this you have to replace it mandatorily. And on the engine casing you have the shock absorber mount bush over here which you need to replace, and here you have the engine mounting to the body, you have two bushes on either side with a pipe inside. This also you have to replace if it is damaged. In this case it doesn't look damaged, but most probably those are the bushes that came with the vehicle from the factory. So this is already like 32 years old scooter, we have to replace it. And this one you see here is a gear selector. This part is still available, genuine I believe, because this is the same with the auto rickshaw engine also. So it's always advisable to replace it, but if you don't see much wear and tear you can reuse the old one, but if you see a lot of wear and tear over this area, then it is advisable to replace it. Then this is a clutch bell. Of course the clutch plates you have to replace it. Always try to replace the metal plates and the fiber plates together, and whenever you remove, check the spring free length, and if the free length of the spring is out of tolerance you have to replace the springs also, because if they have lost their tension then your clutch won't be working properly. Most of the times the people just reuse the old springs, they don't check the condition of the springs. Don't do that, always check the condition of the springs, and you should replace the springs if they have reached the service limit. And here there is another bushing here. I will show you how to dismantle the clutch bell. That time I will show you the bushing here, that also we need to replace. If there is excessive play we have to replace. In this case I already sourced a brand new clutch bell, full assembly, so I will not be using this one, but I will show you how to rebuild this. And this is the clutch cover. So for the actuation purpose there is a mechanism inside. Here also there are two parts which are subject to wear and tear. So this one is already there is some wear and tear, so I have to replace this one. I will show you during the assembly and I will explain in detail what all parts needs to be replaced here. Then coming to the air filter. The air filter, if you don't see any damages on this area, you can always clean it and reuse it, because this is a Bajaj genuine air filter. You won't get this anymore. So you can just clean it and reuse it if there is no visible damages here. Otherwise you can always buy a new one. I am not sure if genuine is available, but still good quality aftermarket one should be available. Then coming to the carburetor. If your scooter is a running scooter and you are facing some issues due to the carburetor, I will always advise you to go for a brand new carburetor, because this is almost a 30+ year old part. Even if you don't see some visual issues, there might be some small cracks and stuff. For example, okay, here there are some cracks already developed, and this will cause the carburetor to suck air, unwanted air, and you will never be able to tune it properly. So if your carburetor is too old, or you feel that it has been molested in this due course of time, always go for a new carburetor. For our Indian Bajaj Chetak, the carburetor, there is a numbering called 20/17, or we just say 2017. You can always source 2017. Spaco is still making the carburetors, and also there are other other carburetors like 2020, 2424, 2626 that came for the LML Vespa. With the right jet sizes, you can use those carburetors as well. I am planning to use the 2020 carburetor on this Chetak. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, I will explain more in detail during the assembling. Now there is a huge task to clean each and every single part one by one. So cleaning is very important. You have to clean it and then inspect everything one by one. So I hope you liked this video. I hope it was informative to you. During the assembling process, I will try to make it more detailed. I will show you each assembly part by part. In the disassembly sequence, I was not explaining anything because it's quite easy to do that. I felt it was self-explanatory. That's why I didn't give any explanations. Anyway, if you have any doubts, you can always comment below the video, or you can contact us through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. So if you like the video, do like, share and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching Bose Garage. See you soon with another video.